Today is Saturday, August 22nd. It's been a full week now since I first took Coda to the vet. Honestly, I have never regretted anything in my life, but I regret taking him to the vet last week because he woke up in the morning at 8 a.m. He threw up a sock, and this is not the first time this has happened. Obviously not good either, but he was experiencing some abdominal pain and doing the prayer position, constantly whining and restless and not able to just sit in one place. I was very worried because I've never seen him do the prayer position this much. I do think now that it was like comfortable gas sitting in his stomach and he was just purely abdominal discomfort, but not to the point where he needed medication, which is what ended up happening. At first, wanted to get an x-ray because he was super healthy, good energy level. He was smiling, happy. He didn't have a hard stomach, had nothing in his colon, which she did like a rectal exam to check if there was anything in there. He was fine, pressing on his stomach. He was honestly healthier. They came into the vet and we did an x-ray. They couldn't find anything in his stomach other than a small earring backing, which she said at the time was not to be or worried, like super small and would pass normally, either out that way or out this way. It was possible that there was an obstruction, but they couldn't see it yet, is what they were saying. Everything looked very normal, like regular poop in his intestines, no signs of gas in his stomach from what they could see in the x-ray, because they did an x-ray, not an ultrasound, which I've learned now would have been the more appropriate. I'm getting emotional thinking about it because you really expect the best care for your dog when you walk into the vet, especially an emergency vet. This is our first time. We were at the point of like, don't know what to do, freaking out internally, a little bit externally, and you want to feel like you're coming in for the best care and treatment to get better, not just being milked like money. And that's kind of what it felt like. He might be nauseous, but at the time he vomited the sock and then shortly after like bile, which again, like normal for when he does throw up, like done that in the past. And I think it's just a natural process. And then they also prescribe 2 types of medication, ondansetron and gabapentin. The ondansetron is supposed to be again for anti-nausea, and also on the bottle it says for lack of appetite and vomiting. So we're like, okay, didn't have any of those when he started taking them. But again, I am not a dog doctor. I'm not the expert here. Let me listen to someone who is supposed to be. The gabapentin one made sense, but it also felt very dramatic. So gabapentin is like a nerve shot, basically to kill your nerves from feeling, like a very dramatic way to say that, but it basically like down your nerves. The reason for that was so that he wouldn't have discomfort around his stomach anymore. Like he would not be able to feel it. Like it would literally numb his nerves and how he was feeling. If there was pain, like he would just not feel it. And at the time, like I just trusted what they were saying, what they advised. Funny thing is, after he did his x-ray, and I honestly didn't like the way they did his x-ray either because they just were not gentle with him, in my opinion. It felt like they were just trying to get it over with, and he was crying. He gets anxiety, so he'll like whine, rightfully so, like being separated from me, his mom, the one that he loves and trusts, and he's with strangers. Like I felt like they could have been a little bit more gentle with him and a little bit more patient. But at the same time, I understand that they were like to get it done to see what could be done about his pain. After he finished the x-ray, he came and sat down on me, and he actually had a little bit of diarrhea on my pants, like sharded. And I honestly think that that's what he needed, is like he was feeling discomfort and he really just needed to release it in liquid form on me, unfortunately. But after he did that, he stopped crying, he stopped pacing, but at that point we were already like, okay, we're gonna go forward with the shot and the medication. And so Like after that, he took that shot in his leg and we went home. He literally knocked out through the night. We were like thinking, oh, this is great. But then he woke up and he vomited for the next 8 hours. Like, it was so sad to watch. And I was also crying. I was a mess. I was trying to keep myself together because I wanted to have good energy so that he could get better. But like him like that was really tough. Like, woke up and he just threw up. And then we threw the sheets into the washing machine. He came out here and we're just monitoring him. He would get up and then just vomit. And we're like freaking out, obviously. And then he obviously didn't want any food because he was feeling nauseous. And I really believe that he felt that way because they overdosed him with the shot and the 2 medications all at once. I don't think that was the correct recommendation. Who am I to say that? But that's just what my gut is telling me. And again, I'm not a professional, but he went through 8 hours of vomiting when he was not vomiting before. He got so weak and he could like walk. He would get up and just vomit and then collapse. And it was like sad to watch. And I was worried if like he was gonna make it. I also, oh my gosh, it's been an emotional week. And I blamed myself for taking him to the vet. And I know now, like reflecting, that it was not my fault. It is the responsibility of the vet to provide ethical care and proper diagnosis and treatment. So anyways, vomiting calmed down and we were able to make it through the night. Woke up, got him to eat a little bit. We went on a walk. He seemed a little bit more energized now that the shot had worn off, and it had been 48 hours since the shot fully wore off. And then we stopped the medication. Like, didn't give him another dosage of the gabapentin. We did give him the danestron because at that point, like, was vomiting, so we felt like he needed the anti-nausea medication. He ate my carrots that I had made for myself. The whole time I was trying to get him to just take a little bite of anything, like his favorite foods: banana, pumpkin, carrot, rice, some chicken, the canned food, like anything. I just wanted him to eat so he'd get stronger and like physically better and mentally better. And so we also took him on like walks to stimulate his brain. He loves like smell of other dogs and going out for walks and seeing other dogs. I think really made him happy. Little things that honestly were the type of medicine that he needed. I think it really just proved that holistic wellness works even in dogs, not just humans. But I do think where we made the mistake was trying to give him too much food at once because we were so excited to see him eat and he was so hungry. We let him finish the whole bowl and we should have just given him like a tablespoon of food and then spread that out over the next like hours. So unfortunately, like, he did vomit all that food up. The earring backing came out when he vomited, which was really good news because that's something that we were waiting to see if it would pass in his stool. And like that time it was in his large intestine, so that means it did make it through the way, like his small intestines and large intestines and colon. Vomited the earring backing, which was proof that like there was nothing left in his stomach. Literally emptied his stomach, and I feel like it was not good that he vomited, but it was also like reset for his body. So we were again like to feel very hopeful, keeping an eye on him. The next day he did not want to eat, and we were really considering taking him, and we got another opinion and we tried to take him to another vet, and they were just honestly rude on the phone. And then I contacted his normal vet. They were busy, and the care is just ridiculous to me. But I'm not like up on finding him a vet. I know it's the same thing as like a doctor for humans. Not every doctor is going to be the right one. And you just have to go through, unfortunately, bad ones to find the good ones. Because not every doctor is created equal. Not every healthcare provider is the same, unfortunately. That's just the truth. Fast forward to Friday. I'm also now in a better state of mind, better energy. I'm coming off of my menstrual phase, so like it is returning like in my body, but also mentally I was feeling more positive, reflecting and releasing like feeling of feeling guilt because I took him to the vet, and really let all of that go. And I was starting to feel better. I was reflecting every day in MicroMoments and just seeing my friends share their MicroMoments and their growth, and that honestly raised my vibration. So kudos to them, because I was literally going to cry and then logged into the app and saw their wins, and it just instantly raised my vibration. It shifted something inside of me of like, I am grateful that he's here. I'm grateful for the progress that he's been making, finding things to be grateful for in this moment, even though things seemed so depressing and dark. Focusing on gratitude. I've taken the time to process and be upset and be sad and sort of grieve too, and released. And then now I was ready to shift my mindset and be like, okay, what are we gonna do today? I was so determined to get him to eat at this point. I looked up other methods. Peter also looked up other methods. I went to Sprouts. I got him some bone broth. I got him some salmon canned food. The veterinarian had given us canned food, but he really just did not want that. It was like track food and salmon puree, but he just wasn't eating it. So I was like, let me try something else to get some sort of nutrients in him, even though he's eating, like, he started to eat pumpkin. Pumpkin doesn't have the protein and carb that he needs to give him the energy back. Well, it honestly did. And he did get energy. It was just like spurts because it wasn't enough to really fill him up. It was so low calorie. So we needed to get more calories in him. He's also has lost so much weight, like lost a lot of muscle that he's worked so hard to build over the past couple of months, which we're gonna build it back. It's gonna be okay. The bone broth did not work. Unfortunately, he did not want it, but I kept trying every hour. I boiled chicken breast and then cut it up into small pieces. Still did not, he ate like a tiny piece, and I was like, okay, it's like he likes chicken. So even though he's allergic, we're gonna get him to eat something, even if he itches afterwards, because he's always itchy after he eats chicken. So we just assume he has a chicken allergy, since golden doodles typically have a chicken allergy. And so we started feeding him salmon, but we're desperate at this point. I'm desperate. Just wanted him to eat anything, and I blended up. He would like started to drink small amounts of water starting Thursday, but water's not enough. But at least he's not dehydrated anymore. I was like, let me blend up. Actually, this was Peter's idea, so I'm not gonna take all the credit here, but let me blend up the rice and chicken and see if he'll drink it that way. And it's honestly gross, but he would not eat anything that didn't come from my finger, so I would scoop it up into my nail so he could eat it, and I had to pretend to eat it first. The things that I would do for you, Coda. I didn't pretend, I had to actually eat it. He finally ate, and then an hour and a half later, he took a nap right after, which is good. Like, has been really good for him, the recovery. And I had to stay quiet like a week so that he could sleep, because during the night he would not sleep. He would get up like 5 minutes, and like none of us slept all week, but he would sleep during the day, which is good. As soon as he would wake up, I would try to like give him some water, because that's when he would be the most recipic to it. Actually, around like PM, he just like downed the whole bowl. This is a small bowl, so it's still a small amount. We weren't doing the same thing where we overfed him, but kept it down, and he was honestly chilling. That was so much progress that we were really hopeful. It was like 12 a.m. He was getting restless, getting up, sitting down, crying, and 1 a.m. he got really hungry. I think we know he was hungry because he started to chomp our fingers. Like, I would put my hand at his mouth, and then he would lick it and then try to eat my ring and my finger, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's never done that before. And Peter's like, I think he's hungry. Like, literally like at it. Peter was consulting with AI, and he's like, I think now he's gonna be a dog again, like that survival mode, like dog where they're hungry and fighting for food. So like, not gonna be the normal Coda that he usually is, where he's super calm and soft, and Jen's, he was not like that. He was just like, I need to eat. Peter made him a little bowl and he literally gulped it all down. Really good progress. Afterwards, he lay down and we're like, wow, I think he really was just hungry, but I also think that there was discomfort in his stomach and he needs to pass gas, and then eating made things feel better. And then in the middle of the night, I think he literally pooped himself and we woke up and there was diarrhea all over the sheets, and like cleaning it now, but there's no blood. It's not the black tar like, which would mean that there was intestinal bleeding inside. It was literally just dark brown diarrhea. You can see a little bit of it right there actually. Replacing the entire rug. I'm gonna try to clean it and get it out so it's not just sitting there, but I do think we're gonna have to replace it, which is fine. Long story short, puppy is on the road to recovery now. I'm very hopeful and praying that he returns back to normal in like next week. I know it's going to be a slow, boring recovery because of the stressful, traumatic week that he's been through with vomiting and not sleeping and diarrhea and restlessness and being overdosed. I'm just really happy that he's feeling better, honestly. That's all I can hope for. I feel like this is going to be the ultimate test to see whether this machine actually works or not. Oh, look, Monkey. I hear Monkey Boy. Hi. Hello, Monkey Boy. You're feeling better? Hi. You're so much better today. Oh, so cute. Already know this. Mommy's been so worried about you. But look who's bright and cheerful today. Look who's sitting up today. Look who has the energy to walk around. Oh, you are my whole life. Literally the light to my life. You are my whole world. I love you. I'm so happy you're doing better. Eating a little aggressively, huh? Sorry, Mommy's fault. Good job. Coda? We are making chicken nacho. Okay, so hi. Someone is feeling so much better, and I could not be more grateful for the long road to recovery that you've been on and your good health now. And I'm so happy that you're feeling better and he's eating, and I'm just so grateful for you and pulling through, and I'm sorry for everything that you've been put through the past week. Oh. So today's now Sunday and he is held down he's eaten 3 meals. He ate 3 meals yesterday every 4 hours, and he had since yesterday he had like slight diarrhea, right? That's like all over the rug that we're gonna have to replace. And then he had a almost solid bowel movement. It was like a light liquid in there, but it was semi-solid, so that means his gut is now working properly again and his inflammation is gone. He hasn't been crying. He's honestly been back to normal. I would say like 98% normal, right? There's still that 2% chance that mommy's waiting on your solid poop again. But once we get there, like, I want to take a moment to reflect on like what I think this has taught me, and I've learned a lot from this experience, like the types of questions that I should ask should I go to the vet ever again, to really call into question like their treatment and diagnosis and not take it at face value should it ever happen again. But I would really hope not. And as much as Peter and I practice holistic health for ourselves, I am now starting to look into that for dogs too, on what things we can do for the longevity of dogs, because Obviously, we want him around forever and ever and ever and never ever want to experience this ever again. And so, looking into the types of supplements and nutrients and vitamins that we can offer him that are still safe to dogs. And I've just learned so much about the gastrointestinal tract. I think I know more about dog gut than human gut now. You're so cute. He really is my life. Like, I don't know what I would do without Coda, and I'm just so grateful that he's okay now. He's so funny. Like he just acts so human-like on camera, but whenever we're just like chilling and hanging and stuff, he does like smile and laugh and like do things that normal dogs do. Now that Coda is feeling all better, I have so much news to share, including my engagement. My app is going to launch soon, and there's just so much that I want to talk about, and I can't wait for next time.